Okay, so something's happening in the show, at least. The next episode is titled Junkin, Jana. It starts out with Tom and Jana hanging out, of all things, which turned out to be pretty interesting. It would seem that ever since she came to the human dimension, Jana's been going around trying to find cool things to sled in. Okay, sure. And also, it seems that Tom and Star have a problem where they text too much. Came out of nowhere, like so many of the single episode issues this season have. But again, sure, we have plenty of other issues which we could be taking steps to deal with in each new episode. But let's bring in these one episode problems that come out of nowhere and don't really go anywhere either. Like, this is paid off in one moment at the end of the episode, but it didn't need to be there. There was no reason for it to be there. Like, have I missed it? Does Tom not have a life apart from his relationship with Star? Is that a thing that has been a thing? Because if so, I didn't pick up on it at all. Meanwhile, Star and Eclipsa go to visit the Magical High Commission, who make them wait an absurdly long amount of time while they're just palling around. And they all but accuse Eclipsa of using some very ancient and very powerful magic that no living queen has ever used, magic that hasn't been seen, I think they said in centuries. They could be off on that, but a very long time at the very least. They have a way of tracing where that magic is coming from. They expect it to be the Monster Temple. Eclipsa, of course, takes offense to this and leaves. Meanwhile, we learn from Jana that every time she finds a metal object that she can sled in, it's still just so weird to me that they decided to give her a sledding hobby out of nowhere for the plot of this episode. But again, I'm going to move past it. Every time she finds a cool metal object to sled in, a bird comes and takes it away. And I don't think I mentioned this particular bird. His name is Sebastian. I don't think I mentioned him back in, The Ghost of Butterfly Castle in that episode. He's a bird that Mina Loveberry trained and has apparently done magic on, because he has a battle mode transformation now, just like she does. He's been taking these metal parts away and taking them back to Butterfly Castle for Mina, because it turns out they're all pieces of some giant suit of armor that I'm betting is going to turn out to be some kind of magical human mech. Hey, that was an alliteration. Magical human mech. And it's not as fun to say the second time. So, at the very least, plot lines were furthered in this. And this is exactly the kind of episode that I'd like to see more of this season. This season it feels so much more fillery than even the last two seasons. Why do episodes have to keep manufacturing situations so that there can be tension when there's already so much tension that they could be building towards resolving? I just don't understand. Like, this wasn't the greatest episode of all time or anything, but it was certainly satisfying. The moment that Jana and Tom land in Butterfly Castle, and everything from the camera angles to the music choice starts working overtime to convey that something sinister is going on here.
No, he's just a dumb bird. This is what they do. Take all the shiny stuff and dump it in their nest. Come on. Ugh. You want your compact, don't you?
Here it is! I've missed you, baby.
All right, let's get out of here.
I'm all for that. What's going on? What do we do?
That was just such a great moment. It was a really standout moment. And even the moment where Tom, who hadn't wanted to confront the bird up to this point because it's a harmless bird, right? The moment where he steps up and uses his compact to block one of its attacks and save Jana, that was a cool moment. Again, it didn't have to be his compact, and they didn't have to build up that dumb he can't stop texting his girlfriend plot to add weight behind the action because he literally saved a person's life, but it was still a cool moment for Tom. One thing I particularly liked about the episode is when Janna's latest sled, a literal metal boot, is dropped on a pile of other metal scrap. You can see right there that they're building some sort of robot thing. There are enough pieces there with enough obvious definition to them for you to put that puzzle together in your mind. So when the giant suit of armor mech thing is revealed in its incomplete state at the end of the episode, you feel like you're in on the secret. It's a cool moment for the audience, assuming that you made that connection in the first place. The world was built a bit when we saw that even though Eclipsa and the High Commission are talking, they're willing to talk to each other, their talking doesn't really get them anywhere because neither of them can really stand the other. And Star is very firmly on Eclipse's side at this point. So these two incredibly powerful groups are not helping each other out at all. And I gotta say, that's a question I've been asking all season, and finally the show answered it. Good for them. Good for the writers finally answering that question that was asked all the way back when Eclipsa did something pretty terrible to a member of the High Commission. But again, like I said, I don't understand why more episodes this season can't feel like this. Even episodes like Cornball, which have moments in them towards the end, just like this one did, where the world is built and the plot is furthered, haven't really felt as substantial as I feel the writers intended them to. What was the moral of Cornball exactly, after all? That the current generation may be hopeless, but the next one probably isn't? Well, what does that actually tell us about the story that's being told now? What does that hint that our heroes are going to accomplish by the time this story is over? How are they affected by that little iota of world building exactly? This episode, though, good. I liked it. It was solid. The show has given back some of that goodwill that it has slowly been using up. Also, I have to say, kudos for an episode of this show actually using Jana to further the plot for once, and not just sprinkling her into an episode and hoping that it'll make it funnier and that people will like it better just because she's there. More of that, please. As per usual, though, guys, what did you think of Junkin Jana? If you have seen it, let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below or over my Discord, link in the description. But either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.